Nokia Maps for iOS, Air Display's free version, jumping iPods on websites, the Blockbuster magazine for iPad, and 2013 speculation from Gene Munster. It's Wednesday, November 21st, 2012, and this is iWake. I'm Tim Chaten, and this is what's going on in the Apple world today. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of iWake. So let's kick off today's show. I'm recording this right before jumping into another podcast. For those interested, I will be on the Not Another Mac podcast coming out very soon here, and so stay tuned for that. Meanwhile, let's jump into the news. First up today is Nokia Maps. So Nokia's Here is what it's called, I believe. Nokia Here, yes, is on the App Store now. It's free, and it does do some cool things. It supports offline maps. It supports walking directions, which is voice-guided navigation if you want to be. There is no turn-by-turn yet. There is some live traffic views. There's public transportations. Overall, it's an okay app. People either love it or they hate it. It's very divisive, I should say. And I personally I'm not a big fan of this because it feels like an Android app. It feels like it wasn't built for iOS. It feels foreign to the system. So it's there if you want to try it out. It's free. Just search for Nokia. It'll show up really quickly. One thing that really bothers me is when it's loading maps, it has a checkered board of here behind everything. And it really just is not a great experience that I would like. I'm still a big fan of the Apple Maps. I use its turn-by-turn directions on a daily basis now, and I see no problem with it. Next up today, I just want to do the brief mention that Air Display is now available in a free version in the App Store that is ad-supported. So this new version, you'll have some ads when you're looking at your content, but it will let you at least try this out and see what the experience is like for Air Display. So it's a link to in the show notes, and if you're interested in Air Display, give this a try before you buy. Next up today is an update for those that have bought Macs within this year. So 2012 Macs have an update for mouse line. It's a supplemental update 10.8.2, supplemental update 2.0. And Apple says it addresses an issue with keychain that can affect some 2012 Mac systems. It's in the Mac App Store. If your Mac is eligible for the update, it weighs in at just 26.65 megabytes. Next up is Xfinity TV. There is an app for that, and it got an update that I think a lot of you will like. So I am now an Xfinity, a Comcast customer, but I only do that for internet. I don't pay for cable television or anything like that because the internet has all the video content I would ever want. But for those that do, those that pay for cable, that kind of stuff, you are now able to download for offline viewing TV shows and movies from Showtime, Starz, Encore, and MoviePlex right within this universal app for iPhone or iPad. So this is a very cool update, and if you're into that kind of stuff, go out and update and enjoy your video content right on your iOS device. Next up today, 9to5Mac pointed out Apple doing something rather cool with ads. This may be obtrusive for many or things like that, but it's Apple's starting to advertise. This was found on Pitchfork.com, an ad with exploding iPods at the top banner ad where it explodes past the content area, and it's this beautiful thing. It's got music in the background. It's based on those ads you've seen on TV, and it's kind of cool to watch. There is a link to a YouTube video and the 9to5Mac article in the show notes if you are so interested. Next up today, as I talked about or mentioned beginning in the intro, is Blockbuster now has a magazine for the iPad in the newsstand, the iOS newsstand. It's a free publication, so if you want something for your newsstand that's free, this is a cool thing. It features trailers, interviews, and other content about new and upcoming movies. And it's specifically targeted at what Blockbuster has for rent. It looks like a nice rendition, a nice way to get to this content, and I'll be curious to see if Blockbuster survives, quite honestly. This is a interesting thing for sure, that Blockbuster is still out doing stuff like this. And I think I will be subscribing to this free magazine for Blockbuster. It is linked to in the show notes, so head on over there if you would like access to it, or just search for Blockbuster in the App Store. In other entertainment news is more news around that 4K TV from Sony. So my question was with 4K TVs is, where's the content coming from? Am I going to have to buy a GoPro Hero 3 Black Edition and make my own 4K content? What do I have to do to get 4K on my TV? Evidently, it's going to have a 4K delivery solution. It'll have preloaded content, native 4K entertainment right there on the TV. There will be a delivery system that will include full-length feature Hollywood productions exclusive to purchasers of this television set. So there is stuff in the works, so when you actually buy this TV, you will be able to utilize this in a cool way. Now, what I'd really love if Apple could have an Apple TV that supports 4K, but I'm not sure if that will happen right away. I would very much be intrigued by that. Anyway, it's interesting at the very least. I myself am a projector fan, so 4K TVs aren't really, they seem cool, but I'd rather go the projector route and just get a really, really awesome projector instead of paying the $25,000 for this television set. Speaking of television is Gene Munster's 2013 speculations. So Gene Munster likes to speculate. He likes to predict the future. And I just wanted to go over what he's predicting for 2013, as some of it makes sense, some of it doesn't make sense. So he's predicting in March of 2013, we'll have an iPad mini with Retina display, which I could see that happening. At the same time, though, I could see that not even happening until the end of the year. That is something I'm not sure I buy completely, as the iPad mini just came out, and I'm not sure if they'd go that route. He also states that there will be an update to the little Apple TV box, allowing to do apps from developers, some sort of iTunes radio product. So I do see, one of the things I do see happening in March or early 2013 is some sort of Apple TV update, either software or hardware. The hardware is aging, but it's still 1080p. It should be able to do everything they need to do with it. So I see the hardware being fine, unless they're going 4K, which I don't think they will. So I think the hardware is fine, but I'm curious with the software what they'll do with that. I think it is getting updated, and I'll be curious to see what they do with that. June, of course, WWDC, previews of iOS 7. OS 10, the new version, will be coming out as well. He predicts MacBook Airs with Retina displays, and I'll be curious to see that as well. I think that could be something that happens. We now know that the graphics is not what's holding out MacBook Airs. It is either price or battery life that is holding that out. He's predicting iPhone 5S in September, a modest upgrade. The iPad mini gets a specs bump, and we get a new iPad, which looks more like the iPhone 5 and iPad mini. That I all buy. I all think that could happen. I think that Retina iPad mini might be that September timeframe rather than March. In November, of course, Gene Munster wants to predict a physical Apple television, costing $1,500 to $2,000 in 42 inches and 55 inches. So he's once again predicting a physical television. It could happen. I'm not sure if we're there yet. I'm not sure if this is the year for the physical Apple television. I'm not sure if we'll ever get that. But he's predicting it, and I'm not sure if that's happening. We will see in time, I guess, is the story there. Related to Apple Television is Google and their AirPlay alternative. I've been hearing a lot of stories about this, that Google's working on an alternative to AirPlay that allows for dual talking, so your TV could talk to your device to your TV, so you could have your TV beaming stuff to your iPhone or Google phone or whatever it is. I'm not sure what this is story again and again. I see this kind of story pop up every few months that Google's doing something with AirPlay and they're attacking AirPlay. But once again, I haven't seen them actually do anything. So a lot of talk, no real anything happening as a result of that. Finally today, iPad mini keyboard cases hitting the market. This I see as a weird thing. It seems like the most useless product in the world. Why would I buy a keyboard case for my iPad mini? The keyboard is going to be so tiny, it's not going to be usable. I would rather use voice dictation. I'd rather use the on-screen keyboard, as it's going to be suited for that size of a screen. This seems like a product that should not exist. And I'm not sure why people are even asking for it or why it's even around. So that's just a question I pose. Email me in, iWakePodcast@gmail.com. Why would you buy a keyboard case for an iPad mini if, in fact, it's so tiny that it's worse than even a netbook? So I physically don't even like the full-size iPad with the physical keyboard cases, as that itself is too small. So anyways, that's the last story of the day. I just wanted to bring that to light. Why are people actually making these cases? So that'll do us for the show today. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching or listening. I will be back at some point in the future. It is Thanksgiving tomorrow, so I may be taking a break. I may not. We'll see if there's news. We'll see if I'm in the mood to do a show. I do intend to do a show, the normal work days and things like that. So at the very least, I'll be back Monday for another edition of iWake. You can catch the show notes over at iWakePodcast.com. You can catch the videos over at youtube.com/TCHATEN. And scripts and bonus content available at iWakePodcast.com/again. That's one way you can support this podcast financially. Thank you for listening or watching. I'll talk to everyone again on Monday or Thanksgiving. I'm not sure which. Either way, have a great Thanksgiving, and I'll talk to everyone again real soon. Aloha, and I guess greetings from Goffstown, New Hampshire. Bye-bye.